The morning sun rose lazily over Maplewood, a small suburban neighborhood where manicured lawns and tall white fences spoke of quiet privilege. The street smelled faintly of lavender and asphalt, still warm from yesterday's heat. On the corner of Elm Street, where the sidewalks cracked and weeds dared to grow, stood a little girl, about 11 years old, with skin like deep bronze polished by sunlight. Her name was Ava Johnson. She wore a faded yellow t-shirt, a pair of old jeans rolled up at the ankles, and sneakers whose soles had seen too many summers. But despite the wear and tear, her eyes, wide and bright, carried something unbreakable: hope. Beside her stood a small wooden table she and her mother had rescued from a junkyard last week. It leaned slightly to one side but stood strong, like Ava herself. On it sat a pitcher of lemonade, cloudy with pulp, ice melting slowly in the morning warmth. She'd drawn a big, uneven sign in red marker: lemonade, 50 a cup. Ava placed her coins in a small tin box. Only $3 so far. Not bad, but she needed more. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind from last night. "Baby, we might not have much, but you got dreams. And dreams need hustle. You make people smile today, and that's how you start." So she smiled, wide and proud. The laughter begins. The first to pass by were 3 neighborhood kids, 2 boys and a girl, all wearing matching white sneakers and brand new backpacks. They were from Oak Ridge Private School, the kind of place Ava could never afford to attend. The taller boy squinted at her stand and laughed. "Hey, look, it's the charity lemonade shop." The others joined in. Ava kept her composure, straightening her sign. "It's 50 cents a cup," she said softly. "Cold and fresh." The girl snickered. "Who even drinks lemonade made with tap water?" The boys howled. One of them even pretended to throw coins at her feet. "Here, take it. Maybe buy a new table." Ava's face flushed, but she didn't move. "It's okay," she whispered. "I'll sell some today. I know I will." When they finally left, she exhaled shakily and looked up at the sky. A small cloud drifted lazily above. "God," she whispered, "I know I'm small, but maybe send someone kind today?" Hope and a smile. An hour passed. Cars drove by. People walked their dogs. Some glanced at her. Most didn't stop. But Ava kept smiling, waving at everyone who looked her way. Her lemonade was good. She'd spent the whole night squeezing lemons, adding sugar carefully, tasting until it was perfect. By noon, the sun was merciless. Sweat trickled down her forehead. Her t-shirt clung to her back. Then finally, a voice. "Hey there, sweetheart. Selling lemonade?" It was Mrs. Patterson, an old lady who lived 2 houses down. She was kind, always greeting Ava with a warm smile. Ava nodded eagerly. "Yes, ma'am. Only 50 cents a cup." Mrs. Patterson handed her $1. "Keep the change," she said, sipping. Her wrinkled face brightened. "Now this tastes like sunshine." Ava grinned. "Thank you, ma'am. My mom says lemonade makes people happy." "She's right," Mrs. Patterson chuckled. "Don't stop, sweetheart. You've got something special." It wasn't much. 1 sale, 1 smile. But for Ava, it was everything. The mockery returns. As afternoon crept in, the same kids returned, this time with bikes. "Still here?" The tall boy sneered. "Didn't sell out yet?" Ava said nothing, but her jaw tightened. "Maybe we should help her sell," another teased. "Free lemonade, anyone?" They shouted down the street. People turned to look. Some laughed. Ava's eyes watered, but she blinked it away. "You shouldn't do that," she said quietly. "Why, we're helping," the girl said with fake innocence. "You should be thanking us." One of the boys leaned closer, whispering mockingly, "No one's gonna buy from you, lemon girl, go home." They rode off laughing, leaving dust and cruel words behind. Ava sat down on her stool, shoulders shaking. She whispered to herself, "They'll see. One day, they'll see." The stranger in the black car. The street went quiet again, until a black Mercedes-Benz turned the corner, sleek and shining like liquid shadow. It slowed near her stand. The tinted window rolled down. A man in his 40s wearing a tailored suit and dark glasses looked out. "Lemonade?" he asked. Ava stood up quickly, wiping her tears. "Yes, sir. It's 50 cents a cup." The man smiled faintly. 50 cents? That's a bargain. He parked the car, stepped out, and approached the stand. His presence was commanding, confident but calm. People from the nearby cafe even glanced curiously. He took a sip. His eyes widened. Wow, this is good. Fresh lemons? Yes, sir. I used all the lemons we had. And sugar, just enough. He nodded approvingly. You made this yourself? Yes, sir. My mom said if I want something in life, I have to work for it. The man chuckled softly. Your mom's a smart woman. He reached into his pocket and handed her a $100 bill. Ava's eyes widened. Sir, I don't have change. I don't need change, he said. You just made the best lemonade I've had in years. Consider it an investment. Her voice trembled. An investment? He smiled. Yes, I run a company that supports young entrepreneurs. You, Ava, are one of them. Within minutes, the neighborhood began buzzing. The same kids who mocked her stood frozen across the street, eyes wide. Is that Mr. Coleman? One whispered. The CEO from TV? Indeed it was. Marcus Coleman, the owner of a massive food and beverage corporation. He turned to them with a smirk. You kids laughed, huh? Well, maybe next time you'll try her lemonade, before you judge her. The next few days moved like a dream. One, Ava never wanted to wake up from. After the black car drove away that afternoon, she had packed up her little lemonade stand with trembling hands. People she'd never spoken to before stopped her on the street. Some smiled, some patted her head. Others offered words of surprise and encouragement. But when she reached home, clutching that crisp $100 bill, she knew it wasn't just a lucky day. It was a beginning. The promise at home. Her mother, Lydia Johnson, stood in the small kitchen when Ava burst through the door. The apartment was modest, peeling paint, secondhand furniture, and a window that creaked when opened. But it was warm, smelling faintly of soap and lemon, their life's scent. Mama! Ava shouted, waving the bill in the air. You won't believe what happened. Lydia turned, her tired eyes softening at her daughter's excitement. Slow down, baby. What's that you're holding? $100. The man in the big black car bought my lemonade. He said it was an investment. Lydia froze, then laughed in disbelief. An investment? Ava, you're telling me someone gave you $100 for lemonade? Then to Ava. How would you like to visit my office next week? We'll talk about turning this lemonade into something bigger. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Really, sir? You mean it? I do, but remember, success starts with heart. And you've got plenty. As he drove away, Ava stood there trembling, clutching the $100 bill. For the first time that day, her smile wasn't forced. It was real, radiant, unstoppable. The other kids approached her quietly. Ava, the tall boy stammered. We didn't mean what we said. Ava looked at them, her eyes calm but steady. That's okay, she said. You didn't have to believe in me. I believed in myself. Ava nodded eagerly, eyes wide with wonder. Yes, he said he owns a big company and he wants to meet me again. Her mother's smile wavered. She kneeled, cupping Ava's face. Baby, listen to me. Sometimes people say things they don't mean. Don't get your hopes up too high, all right? But Mama... He looked serious. He said I'm an entrepreneur. Lydia sighed, looking into her daughter's shining eyes. All right, she said softly. If he meant it, we'll find out. But no matter what happens, you made me proud today. Ava hugged her tightly. I'm going to make lemonade for everyone, Mama. You'll see. And for the first time in a long while, Lydia felt something she hadn't in years. Hope. The call that changed everything. 2 days later, the phone rang. Ava was helping her mother wash dishes when Lydia answered. Her expression changed from curiosity to shock. Yes, this is Lydia Johnson, she said cautiously. You're calling from Coleman Enterprises. Ava's eyes widened. She dropped the towel. Yes, sir, she's here, Lydia continued, handing the phone to her daughter. Ava's hands shook as she pressed it to her ear. Hello? Ava, this is Marcus Coleman. Her heart skipped a beat. Mr. Coleman, you really called? Of course I did. His warm voice chuckled. I wasn't joking, young lady. I meant what I said. I'd like you to visit my office tomorrow. Bring your mom along. I have an idea I want to discuss. Ava nearly screamed. Yes, sir. We'll be there. When she hung up, she and her mother simply stared at each other. Mama, Ava whispered. It's real. It's real, Lydia repeated, her voice trembling. Oh, baby, it's real. At the tower? The next morning, they stood in front of Coleman Tower, a gleaming 30-story glass building that reflected the clouds like a mirror. Ava held her mother's hand tightly as they stepped into the marble-floored lobby. Her lemonade stand dreams felt impossibly small here. The receptionist, a neatly dressed woman with sharp glasses, looked up. Good morning. Do you have an appointment? Yes, ma'am, Ava said softly. With Mr. Coleman. The woman's eyes flicked up and down. Clearly doubtful. A young black girl and her mother, wearing secondhand clothes. Hardly looked like typical guests here. I'll check, she said, picking up the phone. A few seconds later, her tone changed completely. Yes, sir. They've arrived. She hung up, standing immediately. Mr. Coleman will see you right away. Please, go up to the 20th floor. Ava glanced at her mother, who gave a shaky smile. See? Told you it was real, Ava whispered. The meeting. Mr. Coleman's office was vast, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. He stood by the glass, smiling as they entered. Ava, Mrs. Johnson! So glad you came. Ava smiled nervously. Thank you, sir. I made fresh lemonade, just for you. She handed him a small mason jar, chilled and tied with a yellow ribbon. He took a sip, eyes closing for a moment. Still perfect, he said. You've got talent, Ava. Lydia cleared her throat. Mr. Coleman, with all respect, why are you helping us? He turned, folding his hands. Because, Mrs. Johnson, I grew up like Ava. Poor, laughed at, overlooked. But one teacher believed in me, and it changed everything. Now it's my turn to believe in someone else. Ava beamed. So, what do I do? He smiled. You start by learning. We'll help you create your own brand. Teach you how to budget, market, and dream big. You're going to turn Ava's lemonade into something special. Ava gasped. Like real bottles? My name on them? Exactly, he said. Your name, your story. People love authenticity. And you've got that in spades. The struggle behind success. Over the next few months, Ava visited Coleman Enterprises every week. She learned about production, marketing, customer service, things most 11-year-olds couldn't even pronounce. But it wasn't easy. At school, the same kids who'd mocked her now whispered behind her back again. Only differently. Oh, look, it's the CEO's pet, one sneered. Think she's better than us now? Ava kept her head down. She remembered her mother's words. Dreams need hustle. Still, she felt the sting of their cruelty. Every time she heard their laughter, she wanted to quit. But then, she'd see her mother waiting at the bus stop after school, smiling proudly no matter how tired she was, and she'd keep going. Her first breakthrough. By the start of summer, Coleman Enterprises had helped design a prototype, Ava's Sunshine Lemonade made with heart. It had a bright yellow label, with a drawing of a little girl holding a lemonade cup under the sun. When Ava saw the first bottle, she burst into tears. That's me, she whispered. That's really me. Coleman smiled. You earned it, Ava. Now let's see if the world's ready for it. They organized a local community fair where Ava's lemonade would be introduced to the public for the first time. The same corner where she once sold lemonade for 50 cents was now filled with banners, a booth with her name, and a small crowd gathering in curiosity. As she poured the first bottle into a cup, she noticed the same 3 kids from before standing near the back, silent this time, not laughing. Redemption. The tall boy, Ethan, walked up slowly, holding out $1. Can I get a cup? Ava blinked, taken aback. You want to buy my lemonade? He nodded. Yeah, I'm sorry for how we treated you. We were jerks. Ava hesitated, then smiled. Apology accepted. He took a sip and grinned. Wow, this is way better than Starbucks. The crowd laughed warmly. Soon people lined up, not because of pity, but because the lemonade truly was good. Mr. Coleman stood at a distance, watching with pride. He leaned toward Lydia. You raised one strong little girl. She smiled through tears. She raised herself mostly. The news cameras arrive. By evening, local reporters had shown up. The story of the little girl who sold lemonade and caught the eye of a CEO spread like wildfire. Within days, Ava's Sunshine Lemonade went viral online. News stations, bloggers, and even celebrities shared her story. People loved her humility, her smile, her message. Ava appeared on morning shows, talking shyly about how she started with nothing but lemons, sugar, and faith. One host asked, "Ava, what's the secret ingredient?" Ava smiled. "Hope," she said softly. "And a lot of love." The shadow of doubt. But fame brings challenges. A week later, Ava overheard some adults whispering outside the fair tent. "It's all a publicity stunt," one woman said. "That CEO just wants attention. She's just a kid. What does she even know about business?" Their words sank deep into Ava's heart. That night she told her mother, "Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just lucky." Lydia knelt beside her. "Baby, luck might open the door, but only hard work keeps it open. Don't you dare doubt yourself now." Ava hugged her tightly. "Okay, Mama, I won't stop." And she didn't. The summer heat shimmered above the pavement as sunlight glared off shiny cars. Parked around Maplewood Park, a large, white tent stood at the center of it all, surrounded by cameras, reporters, and curious neighbors. A small sign fluttered gently at the entrance. Grand launch, Ava's Sunshine Lemonade. Just a few months ago, Ava had been a shy girl with a crooked wooden table and a pitcher, half full of lemonade. Now she stood beneath the same sky, but in front of hundreds of people, reporters, business leaders, and families holding cups of her drink. The world had finally noticed her. But the smile on Ava's face wasn't just pride. It was disbelief, gratitude, and a little fear all mixed together, because deep down, she still remembered the laughter, the mockery, the humiliation, and she never wanted to forget. Ava on stage, Mr. Marcus Coleman, dressed in his sharp charcoal suit, stepped onto the small stage. His presence commanded attention, but when he spoke, his tone was warm and fatherly. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "today we celebrate a dream that started with nothing more than lemons, sugar, and determination." The crowd applauded. Cameras flashed. Ava's heart raced. "Months ago," Marcus continued, "a little girl stood at a street corner selling lemonade for 50 cents a cup. Most people passed her by. Some laughed. But she didn't stop. That's what greatness looks like." He turned toward Ava and extended a hand. "Ava Johnson, and would you join me, please?" Ava stepped onto the stage. Her small hands trembled as she took his. "I was just trying to help my mama," she said softly into the microphone. "We didn't have much, but she always told me to do something with what we do have. So I made lemonade." The crowd smiled, many wiping tears. "And now," Ava continued, her voice stronger, "I want to make more than lemonade. I want to make change." The audience erupted in applause. The weight of success. After the launch, things moved fast. Too fast. Ava's face appeared on cereal boxes, morning shows, and magazine covers. Her lemonade was now being sold in local stores under the brand name Sunshine Lemonade Co. People adored her story. The poor black girl who turned her pain into purpose. But behind the cameras and smiles, reality wasn't always easy. Late nights turned into longer days. School became a balancing act. Reporters called her house at all hours. And then came the criticism. "She's just a marketing gimmick," said one online article. "The company is exploiting a child's story," another headline claimed. Ava read the comments late one night, her stomach twisting. "Mama," she whispered, "what if they're right? What if they don't really care about me? Just my story?" Lydia looked up from her sewing machine. "Ava, people will always talk. But your truth, your work, that's what matters. The world can't twist your heart unless you let them." Ava nodded slowly. "Then I'll prove them wrong." The test? A month later, Marcus called Ava and her mother to his office. He looked more serious than usual. "Ava," he said, "we have an offer. A national chain wants to buy the rights to your lemonade brand. They'll put your drink in every store across the country." Ava's eyes widened. "That's amazing!" Marcus sighed. "It is. But there's one condition. They want to change the brand's name and story. They think the Black Girl Lemonade message won't sell in every market." The room fell silent. Ava's heart sank. "You mean, they don't want me on it?" He nodded gently. "They want something more neutral. They're offering $10 million. Lydia's hand went to her mouth. $10 million? Ava stared at the table. $10 million. That could change their lives forever, but it would erase who she was. "If I say yes," Ava whispered, "they'll take my name off the bottle." Marcus nodded. "It's your decision, Ava, no one else's." The storm. That night, Ava sat at the window, watching rain streak down the glass. She thought about the laughter, the kids who mocked her, her mother's tired smile, and that first 50-cent cup she ever sold. She whispered, "What's the point of success if I lose myself?" The next morning, she gave her answer. "Mr. Coleman," she said calmly, "tell them no. Sunshine lemonade isn't just a drink. It's a message that anyone, no matter their color or where they start, can shine." He smiled proudly. "I knew you'd say that." Backlash and bravery. News broke the next day that Ava Johnson, age 11, had turned down a $10 million offer. The media exploded. Some called her brave, others called her foolish. But one thing was certain. Everyone was talking about her again. Her story reignited conversations about identity, race, and integrity in business. Schools invited her to speak. Teachers used her journey as inspiration in classrooms. And slowly, sales began to soar again, not because of pity, but because people respected her courage. Full circle. Months later, Ava stood again at the same street corner on Elm Street, but now it looked different. A large, polished lemonade cart stood there with a bright canopy and banners that read, "Ava's Sunshine Lemonade, locally made, globally loved." A crowd of children gathered around, giggling and holding their cups. Among them were Ethan and the other two kids who once mocked her. This time, they wore branded t-shirts that said Team Sunshine, working as helpers for the event. Ethan smiled sheepishly. "Guess we're all lemonade sellers now." Ava grinned. "Told you I'd make it work." That evening, Ava returned home and found an envelope on her bed with her name, written in elegant handwriting. Inside was a short note from Marcus Coleman. "Dear Ava, when I first saw you on that corner, I didn't see a little girl with lemonade. I saw a future leader, someone who would change lives with heart, not wealth. You reminded me what business is truly about. People. Never stop believing in your worth. Never sell your story for comfort. Because integrity is the one thing money can't buy. Marcus Coleman." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she folded the letter carefully. Ava's next dream. By the time Ava turned 13, her brand had become a small empire. She used part of her earnings to create the Sunshine Scholarship Fund, to help underprivileged kids start their own small businesses. In the first year, she awarded scholarships to 5 children, including one who dreamed of opening a small bakery, another who wanted to make organic juices. At the ceremony, Ava spoke into the microphone, taller now, confident but still humble. "A few years ago, I was just a little girl on a street corner with a dream. People laughed. Some ignored me. But one person stopped and believed, so now I want to be that person for someone else." The crowd stood and clapped. Cameras flashed. Somewhere in the audience, Marcus Coleman watched silently, pride gleaming in his eyes. Epilogue: The Lemon Tree. Years later, after high school, Ava returned to her old neighborhood. The same corner was quieter now. New houses, fresh pavement. But in the front yard of her childhood home stood a lemon tree, small but strong. She touched one of its branches gently, smiling. "You grew up just like me." Her mother came out, older but smiling. "Ready for college, Miss Businesswoman?" Ava laughed. "Ready to make more lemonade." As they walked back inside, a group of children passed by, a little girl dragging a wagon filled with paper cups and a small jug. Ava stopped. "Hey there," she said kindly. "Selling lemonade?" The girl nodded shyly. "Yeah, but no one's buying." Ava smiled warmly. "Don't worry, sweetheart. Just keep pouring your heart into it. Someday, someone special will stop by." She reached into her purse and handed the girl a 100 bill. "Consider it an investment." The girl's eyes widened, and for a moment, Ava saw her younger self reflected in those bright, hopeful eyes. The circle was complete. Morale. Hard work can buy comfort, but kindness, courage, and self-belief, they build legacy.